Okay, so here we are on Mount Pulag, which is Luzon's highest mountain, third highest in the Philippines. Just checked my GPS a few minutes ago. We're around about 2,350 meters up. So what's that? About 8,000 feet, I guess. Sorry if I just looked away just there. Just got distracted by something buzzing past my field of vision, so I don't know what that was. Anyway, so we're in what's called mossy rainforest, and it certainly is both. It's got some really dense forests here. The trees are very short and gnarled and twisted. It's just and it's just everything is just dripping wet. It's quite remarkable, and it's covered in moss. That's hence its name. So, and behind me you can see my camera is set up. I've just been trying to photograph some of the moss hanging on one of the trees. It's really remarkable stuff. The trouble is we've got a little bit of a breeze, and the moss is so long that it's moving around in this little breeze a little bit, so it's proving to be pretty tricky to shoot. Excuse me if I sound a little bit breathless. I really am a bit breathless because of the altitude, and we're hiking up through some of this forest, not for too far, just trying to get some pictures of the forest, and it's working pretty well. But it is a bit tiring. I say we because I've got a couple of people with me. They're out of shot at the moment. I'll show you them later, hopefully. We've got somebody from the local Department of Tourism, and another person, a ranger from the national park, who's showing us the way. So that's all pretty good. Anyway, what I'm going to do in a moment, I'm just going to switch the camera round and then show you the moss that I'm trying to photograph here, and then hopefully you'll get some idea of what this place is like. It's quite astonishing. Anyway, so this is pretty much what my stills camera is seeing. I've got this video lined up pretty right next to the stills camera, and you can see this moss is just amazing. It's just several inches long, about 8 inches long, and it's just dripping wet. It's just astonishing stuff, and this is just typical. It's just hanging off the trees all over the place. Just wonderful stuff, and the whole, say this whole forest is like this. And the ranger, she called the English name they have for it is monkey tail moss, and you can understand why, because it's so darn long. Okay, so further on into the mossy rainforest, you can probably hear it. It's kind of raining. It's not raining particularly hard. It's mostly just drizzle, surrounded by fog. It's very wet and muddy. You can probably see a lot of dense vegetation behind us. Everything's covered in moss. It's just amazing, but it's also quite hard going. The path is very muddy and slippery. It's standing on a log at the moment, trying to stop myself sinking into the mud. So yeah, it's all good fun. The camera is pointing back down the trail, which you might be able to see. If we move myself out of the way, you can see, looking down the trail, what the camera is looking at, I hope, at this amazing forest. And it's really living up to its name of mossy rainforest. It's just stunning. As I say now, according to the GPS, we're at 2,396 meters, so we're way up near, about 500 meters from the summit of the mountain, really into the heart of the mossy rainforest, really. This is the kind of forest which really survives in pretty harsh conditions, a lot of rain, a lot of bad weather. And so this is kind of what you expect with it. You expect the drizzle and the fog most of the time. Alright, a little bit further up the trail. Here are my trusty guides. Felix bringing up the rear, doing all the donkey work, carrying my camera gear for me, because he's more used to the altitude than I am. And ahead of him, there's the park ranger, whose name escapes me, I have to say. Hopefully find out in a minute. So, climbing up towards a lake of some sort. I've forgotten its name as well. My brain is not quite functioning properly. It's concentrating really on just walking through this stuff.